Hello everyone, my name is Dalton and welcome back to my channel. Today I am just going to be doing a fall TBR. Essentially, I'm just going to be talking about the books that I kind of want to get read this fall. I've done TBRs before, but I am a super big mood reader. So just picking a whole bunch of books and like telling myself I'm going to read these is quite challenging for me. I typically don't ever end up getting a majority of them read because I'm just bouncing off to something else just because I want to. But I'm doing this as like a fall thing, so I have a couple of months. I've got September, what's left of it, and October and November to try to get most of these books completed before the next season. A lot of these books I have started and they're kind of just sitting in like my pile of shame. So that's kind of one reason I want to get rid of them. Not get rid of them, but like finish them. And a lot of them have to do with October spooky, scary, or like dark academia type things. They just fit the vibe of fall, which is really why I want to try to get them read this fall. But without further ado, let's get into my TBR for the fall. The first book that I want to read is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have started this book. I started it in like mid-July, I want to say. And at the time, I was kind of in the middle of a job move, so I just didn't have a whole lot of time to read. August started, I was at a new job, which gave me a lot more time to read and do things in my life that I just did not have time to do previously. And I just kind of put this on the back burner. I read a couple of other books at the time, and I've been trying so hard to finish this. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of put me in a bit of a reading slump. I love it. I think it's so well written. I love the way the timeline in this novel is. It basically jumps back from like present to the past when Locke was a child. And I really, really enjoy it when I am reading it. But there's just something about the way this world building is done that makes me not want to pick the book up for some reason. I'm about 250 pages in. This is the first book that I want to read. Hopefully I can finish it this month. I really want to finish it within like a week or so, but with the fact that it's taken me like 2 months to read, I'm not super hopeful, but this is like number one. I have to finish this novel. It's gotta go. This is number one priority. The next book that I want to pick up is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is just, from what I understand, a super great dark academia type novel. I don't know anything about this other than that, which I really, really like. I've always wanted to read The Goldfinch, and I've tried to read that novel probably 5 or 6 times. I get about 70 to 100 pages in, and then I just put it down and never continue. So hopefully I will have better luck with this novel. I know just from what I have read of The Goldfinch, Donna Tartt's writing is exceptional. So I am incredibly excited to try to read this. It is kind of long. That's another reason I wanted to give myself the entire fall. Most of these books are 500 plus pages, so all of them are a healthy commitment, and hopefully I can get this done. I'm really excited about this novel. I've had it forever on my shelves as well, so I need to get to it. The next novel I want to try to get to is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I bought this the day it came out, and I have had it on my shelf ever since. I know this one also is like a dark academia type novel. It follows the main character, I believe, is learning languages or studying languages at a prestigious university, and I believe that languages are like the way to access like a magic system. I could be wrong. I just want to give R.F. Kuang another try. I did read the Poppy War trilogy, and I feel like I'm the only one who didn't love it. I think the novels are like fine. There's just something about them that I don't love. The writing was okay. It wasn't bad writing, it wasn't good writing, it was just mediocre in my opinion. And I just really want to give this a shot, and hopefully I like it. I have heard that this is a rather slow read though, so I don't know if I will start it this month or in October, just because I want to try to read as much as I can end of September and October. This might be like a November when I have time off during like Thanksgiving type read. So I really have like plenty of time to try to plow through as much of it as I can as quickly as I can. But very excited to get to this. Hopefully I enjoy it. The next novel I want to try to get to is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I finished the first trilogy in her kind of universe earlier this year. Don't remember what the trilogy is called, Fitz something maybe. But I really did not like Assassin's Apprentice, which was her first novel. But I bought all the really nice UK editions of them. I think they're right there. You can kind of see them. But I picked up the second novel and fell in love with it. I love the way it was written. I loved everything about the story. I do think the third book in that trilogy, it drags on a little bit long. A little bit could be cut and the ending could have been a little bit better. That's neither here nor there. I picked this up, I believe, directly after almost finishing those books, and I read about 90 pages, but again, it was when I was at a job where I just didn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate towards reading, so I didn't really get a whole lot into it. I also was struggling connecting with some of the characters in this novel. Instantly, the first chapter was amazing, but after that, I felt like I just didn't care about what was happening. We were getting a lot of history about a town specifically that I was just like, I don't care. And it's almost 900 pages, this novel is. I just didn't have the energy to deal with it. I think this is going to be the perfect fall read. I know I'm going to love this. I've heard that this is better than the first trilogy. I hope I love it. I need to read it. I do love the way it's written. I love Robin Hobb's writing. So, very excited to try to finish this. I started this novel the other day when I was doing laundry, and that is Sons of Darkness. I don't know how to explain this novel to you just after. I'm only like 30 pages in. I'm not super far or anything. But essentially, I genuinely don't know how to describe it. I read the synopsis obviously on the like dust jacket, but I don't even remember what that was about. I just thought it was such a pretty book. I had to have it. The writing so far has been beautiful and excellent. He is an Indian author, and I believe it's a retelling of one of maybe like their religious text or something along those lines. I don't want to be wrong, so I'm not gonna say that that is exactly what it is, but so far in the 30 pages that I have read, it's insane. Crazy things are happening. The writing has been excellent, and I really want to read this and finish it in the fall. I think it's going to be a super dark novel. It is called Sons of Darkness, so we shall see. Again, though, it is kind of long. I think it's like 600 pages. Yeah, 650 pages almost, so we will see when we get to this. I have wanted to read this novel forever. I always want to read it during this time because it's a horror novel and I just never get to it. And I don't have anybody to blame but myself. And that is The Shining by Stephen King. I have started this. Typically I'll read 5 or 6 pages and just never continue. This time, I started it the other day again. I'm about 20 pages in, which is a little bit better than I've done in the past. I have seen the movie, so I kind of already know what's going on in the novel. I have a love-hate relationship with Stephen King. Typically, I don't love any of his work. I did really enjoy The Stand and Carrie, but those are kind of the only 2 out of the majority that I've read that I've liked. He typically just goes on and on a lot about stuff that you don't really want to read about. And then the endings are just kind of never worth much of anything, unfortunately. But I am hopeful for this. I think I can get this done sometime in October. It is a little chunky. It's like 500 pages again. But I did have the audiobook. I think I still have it from my library. if it really is a challenge, I'll just use that and read along to it. So hopefully I can get this done. The next book I talked about in my book haul video a little bit. I am gonna end up buddy reading this or book club reading this with one of my friends, and that is You Look Better as a Ghost. Essentially, this is following a serial killer who is stalking her next victim, and essentially as she is doing that, somebody is stalking her to try to catch her before she murders anybody else. I thought it was a great premise. Typically, my friend does have super like horror, thriller recommendations. That's just what she likes to read, and it's very out of the box for me. Not something I typically would want to read or pick up, but this sounded good. I've heard good things about the writing as well, so I'm very, very hopeful for this. I think I'm gonna love it. It's super short too, so I don't know when I'll get to this. Probably October, maybe November, depending on her, but we shall see, and I hope I love this. The next book I have also started multiple times and I just never continue it, and that is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is a big boy as well. I've had this book forever. I wanted to read this book forever. I started it, I want to say like last maybe December, January timeframe. I got about 85 pages in and just never continued. My issue with this is that I just don't care about any of the characters besides Glokta. If the whole book was just about Glokta, I think I would have finished it by now. I need to just push through because I know it's great. The writing so far has been fantastic, and the world building is cool. Everything that's going on is super cool. I just don't care about the characters besides Glokta enough to actually like learn anything about them. And that sounds harsh, but I also think this doesn't really have any sort of plot as of right yet. I know there is one that kind of comes in to the second and third book in the trilogy, but just with where this book is, there's not a lot going on. So I think that's another reason that I kind of struggle to push through and try to finish this. But this fall, I am reading this novel. This is super gory too. It's a grimdark fantasy, so there's a lot of blood and guts in this. It's the perfect novel for the fall. I'm going to do it, forcing myself. And then I'm gonna include this one. I've been working through this book for almost a year now. I kind of just read it whenever I want to break from fiction, and that is Out of the Shadows, Reimagining Gay Men's Lives by Walt Odets. This is a fantastic nonfiction book, essentially just chronicling trauma through gay men's lives. Walt Odets is a psychotherapist who is quite old now, but he's lived through the AIDS epidemic. He's lived through a lot, and he's been a therapist to many, many, many gay men. So he pulls from their stories, tells us about their lives a little bit, and essentially is just kind of calibrating how trauma affects gay men and how they exist and how they live their lives. And it deals with AIDS a lot. There's a lot of heartbreaking things in this book, and it's just so well written. There are some things that I don't necessarily agree with. He is a little bit of an older author. I think things are not necessarily as black and white as he may believe they are, but it has been fantastic. Like I said, I don't know if I'll actually finish this, just because it's typically only something that I pick up when I want to break. I don't really have a whole lot left of it. I only have about 100 pages left. I'm like 220 pages in, but I love this book so far. I need to check out the author and see if he has any other nonfiction books, because I would love to read those as well. Such a good book. Don't know if I'll finish it this fall, but I will probably read at least a chapter or two throughout the fall, so I did just want to mention it. But yes, those are all the books that I want to read at some point during this fall season. Hopefully some of these I can get done and knocked out this month, so then October I can kind of get into the spooky reads like The Shining and The Blade Itself, hopefully, but we shall see. I'm very excited for fall. I love cold weather. I love pumpkins. My shelves have been decorated for months now. Um, if you love fall, let me know what your favorite fall drink is. Do you like pumpkin or not? What's your favorite fall book also? I love fall. Please just let me know anything that has to do with fall. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.